Kathy and Ray have bats in their backyard and it's driving them batty. For the noisy flying foxes, it's party central. For Kathy and Ray, it's unbearable.
It's been a nightmare, an absolute nightmare.
It destroys everyone's health and thoughts of people, you know, because no one's willing to help. You think, well, where's support when you need it?
This was once Kathy and Ray Lloyd's oasis.
It was like walking into rainforest.
Now it's turned into their private hell, with thousands of uninvited visitors moving in and refusing to budge.
So this is the only way you'll walk through the backyard?
Oh yes, otherwise you just get covered in bat poo. These bats have ruined my tropical paradise.
The Lloyds bought the home because of the leafy trees. They had grand plans to rent out the cottage at the back and enjoy a quiet retirement.
It's now impossible to create my Airbnb that would have been my retirement fund.
It was March last year when the bats moved into their backyard in Chinchilla, west of Brisbane, and every morning from dawn, it's a stress-inducing sound.
This is bloody ridiculous. By 5 o'clock, they would probably almost all be here, and it's just as if they're having a party.
They stay for the day, hanging off every tree in the backyard, making noise and leaving a mess.
They're coming lower and lower.
Before flying off as night time sets in.
And the stench would keep anyone away anyway. No one would want to come to visit because of the stench.
Kathy no longer feels safe walking through her garden. Her only option to arm herself with a beach umbrella.
How do you describe your own backyard?
It's at the moment like a war zone. We can't come out here. You can't go past the carport unless you've got the umbrella.
They'd fly so low they'd nearly hit your head.
2 houses down, Mac and May Bain are at their wits' end. Great-grandparents to 29 children. You'd think they'd be used to a little noise, but this...
This is shocking, yes.
We've had machinery noise of all kind and nothing to be so adverse as this is.
The smell is just terrible.
For months, they've tried bashing and banging anything they can find to get the bats to move on. But for 88-year-old Mac, the emotional and physical effort was almost too much.
I was at the point of collapse. I didn't realise how much I'd overdone it. And they got me in the car and brought me back home here and immediately got the ambulance to make sure I was going to survive.
Along with the noise, they've set up floodlights and even Christmas lights in the trees to deter the flying foxes from settling. They managed to get a few weeks of reprieve, but the bats came back.
The management of flying foxes has always been a tricky one for councils, given they're a protected species. The Western Downs Regional Council has tried to move the bats from Kathy's backyard numerous times without success. It now says if she wants to try again, it will be at her own cost.
Why should I have to pay? I don't want to pay a cent. They've ruined my yard and I'm still expected to pay for it.
I think we need to put people first and put bats last.
Colin Boyce is the local state member. He says bats outnumber locals in the town 10 to 1.
The simple fact of the matter is bats carry lyssavirus, they carry hendrivirus, they are dirty, they are filthy. They make it absolutely unbearable to live when you have these colonies move into your backyard.
Mr Boyce believes there needs to be a review of the state legislation that lists flying foxes as a protected species to give councils more power to deal with them.
I see there's absolutely no reason why they can't be removed from this protected species list. They are in plague proportions.
Earlier this year, we brought you the story of the monumental plague in Ingham, North Queensland. Hundreds of thousands of bats were calling the Botanical Gardens home in the centre of town, blackening the night sky as they flew off. The local council there has now had a win, with a successful dispersal resulting in the giant colony moving on. Kathy and Ray are hoping the same can happen in their backyard, with some more help from council.
Their obligation, as far as I'm concerned, is to look after the welfare of the residents.
The Queensland Government has committed an extra $2 million to help councils disperse flying foxes. Kathy and Ray want some of that money spent where they live, and soon.